I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we are recording this podcast, the Bidjigal and Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay respects to elders past and present and extend our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people from all nations of this land. Welcome, Chloe. We are finally here. We are here talking today with Chloe Gill from Newcastle. She was a winner of the Songwriting Prize last year with Listen Up Music. She is indie, rock, pop, but also doesn't really like to give herself a genre because she is Chloe Gill, creating her own amazing sound. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for that little intro.
You're welcome. I'm good. So I don't know if you have been listening to the podcast, but we do like to start this question with how are you, but with a more extended version of what's going on in your life right now. Anything fun, what you're feeling, instead of just being, I'm good. How are you?
I know. Whenever anyone asks, how are you? Everyone always says, I'm good. And it's, I love that, delving deeper into the question. I am actually good. Not lying. I am good. I'm very busy. I'm working on my next release, which I guess we'll talk a bit more on in a bit, but it's keeping me very busy. I'm gathering all my assets and putting everything together. And my other work, which is teaching, is based off the school term, which I've just gone back to as of today/yesterday. So I'm busy with that as well, but I'm good. Everything music, back to gigs, and working on my next release. Yeah.
Yay, which you're all very excited for.
I am very excited for. It's I always get very excited when I am working on a release. It's the best time, I think.
Let's use that and jump into talking about your music a bit. So we might quickly touch on the fact that you've just done your recording at 301 Studios. Can you tell us a little bit about that, seeing as part of it was that prize from last year, but then also what you did with yourself there as an extra bits and pieces?
Yeah, sure. So yes, part of the prize was a day at 301, which I'm just I was so excited to be there, just a little kid in a candy store. Worked with Jess and Brad, producer and engineer. And the first day, it was sort of a gathering what everyone was sort of on session, same page, lots of communication, but we tracked drums, we tracked bass and guitars for my next single. So we did a long session, a long day, but we got a lot done in that first session. It was really, really fun. I absolutely love being in the studio. Aside from writing, it's the other place where I'm just creative again, and I'm allowed to just be so verbally creative. And I try really hard to just get all of these out of my head, the ideas, out into sound. And sometimes that can be really hard to communicate, but when you're working with good people, it isn't. And working with Jess and Brad, it was just so much fun, and it wasn't hard to get the ideas out, and we were just trying so much and working through so much. And obviously we didn't get everything finished in one day. So I went back and did 2 more sessions to finish tracking the song. And it's all finished tracking. It's getting mixed sort of as we speak. And I'm really happy with how it's all sounding and came together through those 3 days. But
Awesome. It sounds so fun.
It is fun. It's so fun, especially being in 301. It was just everywhere you'd walk was just really cool things, cool gear, amazing vibes. And it was really a really nice space to be in.
Yeah, awesome. And can you give us a little insight into what the song might be about or what it was influenced by?
Yeah, I can. I literally was just sort of thinking you were going to ask me this before. So I have a little prep. Basically, I wrote this song towards the end of last year, and in 2022, I was super busy, did heaps. And then last year I didn't really do as much as I hoped to do with my music. I took a massive not intentional, and I'll get to why, but I took quite a big break from writing, was playing less shows, like it became more of a work thing with like other gigs and teaching, and my music was sort of, obviously I'm still passionate about it and was still passionate about it, but it definitely became like, this is work, this is a job, and all of that. But at the same time, I was having a lot of problems with my health. I got diagnosed with endometriosis and celiac disease in like the same sort of time, which they are not besties, and they were like killing me. And I was honestly really sick for a really long time over last year, and I'm still figuring out everything, especially with my endo, still trying to figure out how I, go through my life and what do I do, what do I take, how do I feel with that. So, I spent heaps of time just focused on myself, on my health. But at the same time was like beating myself up for it because I just felt like I was wasting so much time. I was like, why am I not, out writing? I want to be writing, but I have no ideas because I'm so clouded and I'm thinking about so many other things. And I think the times where I did have ideas to write, I would often be driving or like traveling somewhere. So it was never a good time for me to sit with the ideas and like branch off them. There's only so many voice memos you can do in the car to like get your ideas out. And then when I'd maybe come home or to a space where I felt like, okay, cool, I can sit down with it and write, I actually didn't want to. I just wanted to rest and chill because, again, just wasn't feeling 100% with everything. Like later in the year, I went away on holidays with my boyfriend, and I was reading this book, which is called Writing Better Lyrics, or To Write Better Lyrics. And I still haven't finished it. I started reading it like a long time ago and I still haven't finished it. I'm a terrible reader.
Oh,
but
my
it is
gosh,
actually
same.
I wish I was better at reading, but I'm actually just so bad.
I've gotten into the audiobooks.
I don't know if it's like I think because I'm a listener, that would definitely work better for me. But so far, it is a really, really cool book and it is really inspiring. And I got to like the first sort of paragraph, first sort of chapter, I suppose. And in the book is exercises for songwriters to do where it's like, do this and write about this or write about this. And the first one was an object writing task. And I was really intrigued. And we were in Crescent Head and he was surfing and I was parked up sitting in the back of his car feeling like crap because I was like, I think I got gluten. So I was feeling really, really sick, just like not having the best time. And I started doing this object writing task and it was sort of like write about what you see, feel, hear, smell, like super deeper senses, I suppose. And I just was sort of word vomiting on my ideas about how I was feeling and how I sort of was feeling like I was wasting my whole year doing nothing and like a bit dramatic, but that's sort of where I was pouring everything from. And that's where the song stemmed from. But if I mean, I've looked at it a little bit differently now because it's had a bit of time to evolve and everything. And if I've been sitting with it and if I sort of question really what it is about, I would say that it's about saying no to something or someone in order to say yes to yourself. Like saying no to someone is actually saying yes to yourself and putting yourself first and your needs first. Because while I was away from music, I technically wasn't, but while I was in the capacity that I didn't want to be as much, I was saying yes to myself and my needs at that time, which was to rest and get better and figure out what was going on with my health. So long story short, it's sort of just about like courage and trusting yourself and putting yourself first and making sure that you are like the best thing and the best version of yourself that you can be in that time, I think. But that's what I would say it's about. Long story short.
I love it. But how hard is I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, like putting yourself first. I know I did for ages and I'm 31 now and I'm like, no, Kate, like you need to say no.
I'm still terrible at it.
Such a long time to learn that lesson because like especially being in the arts world, I feel like what if I miss out on an opportunity or
totally
all that kind of stuff, and it's like this pressure to constantly be doing. So I feel like learning that lesson to be like, no, I'm super important and I need to take care of myself to then get the best art that I can make and create.
I'm glad that I wouldn't say figured it out because I haven't. Like, I'm still so young and I still don't know all the answers, but I'm glad that I'm aware of it, maybe. I'm only 20, but I'm glad that I've sort of figured it out. I guess that's the wrong thing to say, but like aware, figured it out sort of thing. Yeah. Because I've done that. I've said yes to so many things. I've like burnt myself out just doing too much all at once and giving myself to too many people, too many things at once. And then I'm reaping the like negative rewards of like, oh my God, I feel so exhausted, or I don't want to work on my music, or I can't be asked to like do this or go out with friends, when they're like the things that actually help me be me and make me like flourish as a person. So yeah, well, I haven't figured it out, like, because I still do it all the time, and I still am like, yes, I'll do it, even though I really don't want to, or I'm not available or something. But yeah, like just sort of being aware of it, I think is really cool. And I guess put it into my own words in the song and what that means to me. Yeah.
And do your lyrics come first when you?
I just dropped my phone. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Do your lyrics come first when you're writing? Is that sort of the first thing that comes when you're writing a song? I guess specifically like that, when it's so emotion based and got a specific, I guess a story behind it. I guess is for lack of a better word.
In this case, it did, because I was sitting with that sort of exercise of like it wasn't like, I guess when I think about it, I was just sort of saying everything, but the task was really saying, don't try and songwrite, don't try and give it rhythm and poem and like, stanzas and stuff. Just say what you want to say. Just put in wherever you're writing what you can actually see, hear, smell, touch, taste, everything, feel, how you're feeling, like everything like that. So I literally was just sitting there putting all of that stuff in it and not trying to be too literate about how I was putting it in, because I always do that when I'm writing. I might like miss really cool ideas because I'm too worried about, does it rhyme or does it fit with the right structure, which is so terrible, because sometimes I just want to do that and get it out like I was doing. So yeah, in this case, the lyrics did come first and they were just bang, 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 bang. And then I went back and sort of sat with them and rearranged them, I suppose, and added bits or took bits away. But when you will be able to hear the track, there's this sort of really cool guitar part, which I actually came up with that ages ago. My boyfriend is a left-handed guitarist and I'm a righty. And he had this nylon string guitar at his house, and it's now at my house. I've like totally stolen it from him. And it's because of this song. But I came up with, I was just like playing around on it. And obviously I was playing upside down. So it was like right side up for me, but upside down with the strings. And I retuned it to like, I think it was D major 9 or some weird sort of D major tuning. And then I started playing this sort of finger picking sort of riff that you will hear in the song, but it's actually upside down. So that came first. That came really early on, but I didn't really have anything to put with it, but I really liked it. And I knew that I didn't want to just not do something with it, because it was kind of like, it reminds me of my boyfriend, and like it's a nice time of like us like, creating something together. And then the lyrics came after, and then I just sort of was like, that would be really cool to put them together, because I wrote this when I was away with him, and I wrote that when I was with him, and like just sort of putting them together. Like, I don't know, yeah. So cute, kind of, but often it's just sort of like sit with the chords or at the instrument and, pour it all out at once, melody, lyrics, everything, and just keep track of it with recording and stuff so I don't forget ideas.
Yeah, amazing. That's such a nice story.
Oh, thank you.
So we're going to do a little section breaker now, which is a little topic, and it's called Top 3. So your top 3, which is going to be a very interesting conversation, I feel, is your top 3 favorite smells.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tricky one, right?
I like this question. That's really cool. I would say, are we talking like scent or smell? Well, I mean, that's literally the same thing. But do you mean like scent of like a candle or like a perfume?
I think
or can it literally be anything?
Like, I think one of my favorite smells, I don't know if it's my number one, is like when the ground is really hot and then it rains.
That
Like
steamy rain smell.
So good. I don't know, that's really weird, but it smells so
I don't
good.
like that smell, but I understand the smell you're talking about.
That's so funny. Salted caramel candles also.
That's literally what I was going to say, is like that sort of caramel vanilla candle smell. I would also say campfire.
Yes.
Like that smoke smell is a really good smell. It's so comforting as well. Like
I get that too.
A nostalgic sort of smell.
Me too. I have the same thing. I always say to my boyfriend, oh my gosh, the fire, the smell, it's cold. Like it just feels really nostalgic to me.
Yeah, it's comforting when you can't, like I camped a lot as a kid and like that just reminds me of that. I love that smell. Yeah, definitely campfires, definitely like salted caramelly vanilla-y candles.
Yeah.
And then this is so specific, but this one like detangler spray that I had when I was a kid, I think it was like lip smacker or something. It's such a specific smell, but like when you smell it, you know, like I know we all have smells like that, but you know like what it is.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be my other one.
That's amazing.
It's just a nostalgic, really good smell. It's so sickly sweet, but it's good. Like it's good.
How good is that? I had the other day walked past someone and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if you ever used Impulse, but that was like a huge thing when I went through high school. Was like
I never did, but I know what it is.
Every girl in like year 7 to 10 had like, I don't know, like Summer Days Impulse in their like sports bag. If I smell it today, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is like my teen years. I would never wear that now because it smells so sweet.
Brings you back.
But it's like, whoa, hello, I'm back in high school.
Yeah, that's cool.
So wild.
I love that smells do that. Like birthday candles and things like that. You just know that exact distinct smell is like
like when a birthday candle has been blown out.
Yeah, and it's like a mix of cake, wax and then
like the melted wax on the cake.
Yes. I love that.
Oh, so good. Amazing. So your top 3 were oh my gosh, I've forgotten already. The salted caramel candle.
Yes.
The second one is the campfire, and the third one is your detangler spray. Detangler lip smacker.
I don't even know if it was something that my sister and I had, or if it was like a friend that had it. But I remember it being used in my household, and
brilliant.
Just that specific smell. It's so sickly sweet, but it's good. I'll never forget it.
Okay, we're going to move into talking a little bit about mental health. So you briefly talked about, I guess you kind of touched on it, how you weren't feeling good, you got diagnosed with endometriosis and being celiac and all that kind of things, which I'm assuming did have a big impact on your mental health, and you kind of went away. And how did you start to sort of deal with all of that when it was happening? Did you have little things that you were doing? I know you were, writing music and reading and stuff like that, but did you have other little things or people around you that were supporting you during that time? What was that sort of journey like?
Yeah, I mean, my mental health, if I talk about sort of like what it is specifically, I have anxiety, and it stemmed back from when I was like in my early teens, but I noticed it, I guess it alerted to me more when I was in year 11 and 12. Got to around trials time in school, and I was just like, I cannot do this. I am not doing this. Like, my life is over. Like, the world is ending. I skipped 2 of my trial exams because I literally was just so stressed and so like frantically freaked out. I didn't study, so I didn't prepare myself. So it was partly my fault, but it didn't make it much easier. Like, in the moment, I was just so stressed and I couldn't do it, so I didn't go. And my parents are high school teachers, so I copped the like punishment for that, but like that's where it started. I went to the doctors and they, said to me, all right, like, here's this medication, go on it. And I was like, okay, cool. If this is going to make me feel better and help me get through my life, I'll do it. And I think I was on that, which I think was like Loxolate or something, like a classic. I think I was on that for just over a year, and I came off it because I sort of felt like I was in a good place of like, okay, I can manage, and I want to be able to sort of get back to managing my life in my own little driver's seat and being in full control of everything. And then everything sort of went a bit belly up when the endo started to appear and alert. I thought I had endo like a long time ago, but was told, no, it's just painful periods. And I definitely just thought like, no, there's something more to it. And turns out I was right. Like we usually
listen
are.
to your body. I know, right?
Yes,
It's like
when
I
we
hate
trust our
that.
guts.
Yeah, it's just like
we usually are.
Yeah.
And again, that's like a reference to my song, is like trusting your gut. But I had like a problem where the pill that I was on stopped working. So then I just came off everything entirely. And this is like actually in the timeline of sort of a year ago, April to April last year, which is like current to last year. I was on about 8 to 9 different birth control, hormonal suppression things, some at the same time, some at different times, which meant that my mood was like a roller coaster, literally freaking off the walls. Like I'd be really good, I'd be really solid, I'd be really on top. And then it would hit me like a bus, maybe because I was on some sort of pill or something that was really impacting the way that I was feeling. And because that's sort of still something that I'm going through, is trying to find something that, you know, that I can take that will help with my endo, but that will also make me feel like a normal Chloe, that I can just go through my life and feel like I'm me. That's something that I'm really sort of struggling with. And I guess in that time where I was feeling really unwell, I was sort of, you know, healing from the surgery that I've had from my endo and things like that. I definitely was really feeling it mental health wise. You know, I said to you before about how when I was writing or when I was sick, I was sort of beating myself up about like, why are you not doing more? That was really something that I guess I struggled with, was just that pressure that I kept putting on myself to be doing more, that what I was doing wasn't enough, comparing myself to other people when I'd be on my phone on socials. And, you know, I'd see people who are like older than me, who have been around longer, who definitely could be doing more than I'm doing, because they've been around for longer than I have. And I'd just be comparing and stressing like I'm wasting time, I'm not doing enough, everything. So yeah, I was definitely really hard on myself. And I think the thing that sort of brought me back to ground, to reality, was my family. Sorry, I have the hiccups. My family and my boyfriend, they literally, and my friends were just like the people who brought me back down when I would be freaking out. They'd be my reality check. And that really, really did help me. But at the same time, I see a psychologist regularly. And I have been for like the past 4 years, been seeing my psych, and she is just so good. And I think that that's something that should sort of be looked at more for people who struggle with their mental health, is to go and speak to someone, because I think what I like about it is like, this is someone I don't know. They don't really know me. I'm not friends with them. I have like no emotional connection. So I can literally word vomit everything that I'm feeling, but then they give you strategies and tools. And that's like the coolest thing. So that definitely also really helped me to just be able to go speak to her and, you know, say, this is what's happening in my world at the moment. What can we talk about that will help me move on and keep going on my little journey? And like I said, there'd be times where I'd be really good, really solid, really happy, really like on top of the world. And then there'd be other times where I'm just, felt so stressed that I didn't want to do anything. Was like, I'm giving up music. I'm never doing this again, because it was hard. And I, honestly felt like I was wasting my time. But when I look back at it now, I wasn't, because I knew that I had to take care of myself and my health and figure that time out, and know sort of how to move forward from there, and what's going on. But I won't lie, like I'm still in the figuring out period because of all the endo stuff. So it's a hard question to sort of finish answering, because I don't know the full answers. But I mean, I don't think you need to have a finished answer. I think all the stuff that you've spoken about, I mean, across this whole episode, but especially just now, is something that so many people are going to relate to, because I think everyone is still like trying to figure it out. And I think I also really connect to like the social media stuff, and I think a lot of people do too. And also just the importance of seeing someone who's not emotionally connected. Like, I think it's so important, one, like you mentioned, to have the family and supportive environment and network around you, but being able to speak to someone who's not emotionally connected and can just kind of be like, hey, I hear what you're saying, and here are some strategies that are going to help you. And just listen to you, like listen to you and your needs. And I am so lucky with my family. I have an incredible supportive family who are very understanding of that, which not everybody does have. And I'm very lucky and grateful that I do have that, because that they just make the world of a difference in my life, and I'm so glad that I have that. Yeah,
I agree. I think I feel very fortunate that I have that as well, and I think that's why I love Listen Up Music, because I really love that they're building that community for people who maybe don't have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's definitely one thing I felt when I sort of emerged into Listen Up with, you know, I think the first time I really experienced what they were doing was the semi-final round, where it was like all reality, we're all in the same room and everything. And just immediately I felt so looked after and taken care of, and they really have that sort of community feeling and family feeling even in what they do, which is so special. And I think in the music industry, especially in Australia, that's something that we really need, is something like Listen Up, where everyone from all walks of life and all abilities can just have that little haven of, this is us, this is our music, this is what we all do, and we can all have our like similarities to bounce off and our differences to bounce off as well.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're coming towards the end, and I think we've had really nice chats, and just you've covered really awesome stuff, and I think also like a bit of girl power in this chat, which I think is, you know,
Thank you.
I think
I love that.
So we're going to finish it off by doing a little scenario. So I'm going to give you a scenario, and then I'm going to give us a scenario, and then we're going to act it out and just kind of freeze for a second so that we can then grab a still of it for socials.
I love this.
So I'm hoping that you're a bit of a Swiftie. If not, we're going to pretend that you are.
I am. I won't lie. I pretty much am. Maybe not on the level of some, but I definitely am. Yeah.
Some are so wild. Oh my word.
Oh, it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. They know where she lives. Like, it's scary.
That is terrifying. Oh my gosh. So your scenario is Taylor Swift has just called you up and said that she would like to do a duet with you on her next album. What is your reaction? I'm going to count to 3, and then you just need to pose in whatever.
Can I just quickly start crying? Because that's probably what
okay, ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Yes!
My phone and everything got the props.
Yes, that was perfect.
I'd actually cry. I'd literally melt, but that would never happen.
Oh my gosh. You never know, Chloe. Never say never.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Thank you so much, Kate. This has been so nice.
It has, and thank you so much. It's my first Zoom one, so hopefully it works out okay. But thank you so much for coming on, and make sure you keep us posted with all of your stuff and when your new single is, and make sure everybody who's listening, keep an eye on Chloe's socials. We will put them all in the links to the notes of the podcast, so you can check her out and follow what she's doing. And thank you so much for sharing everything. I think it's a beautiful episode and something that people are really, really going to connect to. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kate. Thank you.
Thanks, Chloe. Bye.
Bye.